good lately.
And I haven't reported it.
Okay.
So, and that was just awful. Okay, you read the questions?
Yeah, I read the questions and I typed them out. Well, I'm in my last question, typing out the last question.
Okay, awesome. Just so you know, it is a project which is led by Heritage Saskatchewan. I have a friend who works there, and they're collecting stories from all over Saskatchewan, and of course they want some from the north. And yeah, I was just hired to interview 5 people, so I kind of wanted to get like the west side and the east. So you would be the east.
Okay. Not the north. North.
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay.
So, I guess
okay.
we can start.
All right. So you're going to ask a question and I'll answer?
Okay. So.
Okay.
What is your name? When and where were you born? And where are you living now?
Okay. My name is Judy Eninew. I was born in Finland, Manitoba, and lived in Deschambault Lake for most of my life. I moved away about 4 years for educational purposes. Otherwise, I've been living here since about 46 years ago.
Awesome. So, do you remember what you thought when you first heard about the coronavirus?
Yes, I thought it can't be that bad, like the coronavirus. How can it be that bad? And I didn't think anything of it. Like, I thought it wasn't serious. And I thought that why are they shutting down the schools? And, is there other measures that we can follow than to shut down the schools? And then I didn't write that in there, but I helped with hockey, and we're about to attend a hockey tournament in PA when we were told we couldn't take the hockey players out because it was too risky for them and they might get the coronavirus, we were told. I was so disappointed, and I was so sad for the hockey players. They were excited to attend the hockey game. I had mixed emotions all this time. During the time when they first told us, I felt angry, upset, disappointed, sad, and felt like I was being controlled by others.
So when did your life start to change as a result?
At first it was okay. I can get used to staying at home after the school closures, but later I started getting really depressed and sad. I missed the students at the school and at hockey. I also missed the conversations of visiting others at work and at hockey games. I think it was in about 3 or 4 weeks that I started noticing a change in myself. That I was getting more depressed. Especially I got so sick of staying at home. And we were only told to leave from the reserve at certain days, which felt like we were further being more oppressed.
Right.
Yeah, so it was 2-3 weeks it was okay. The 4th week it kind of hit the sadness.
Yeah, I was starting to feel like the hopelessness because you don't see an end to it. 4 weeks is a long time, especially when you're used to being on the go with hockey season.
Yes, exactly. And also, I felt really saddened because my granddaughter plays hockey, and it was her first winter games to go play hockey, and she had 3 more tournaments to go, and she was really sad too. So I kind of felt her sadness.
Yeah.
And I felt for her, and there was nobody there to counsel the students. I'm sure they had a lot of emotions,
for sure.
Sadness, and there was nobody there to talk to them. Yeah.
So you mentioned already how your community had a lockdown. There's certain days people could leave. Can you explain a bit more about how your community responded to the virus?
Well, my community was scared at first because of the virus. Mostly everybody was cautious and stayed home. But as time went by, they started doing their normal activities. One thing I noticed is that even though people knew about the virus, people continued having house parties. A lot of people have addictions in alcohol, and it's difficult for them to stop drinking and having parties, so that continued.
Mhm. So how there's like this is a big question, but how have you coped with the changes brought by the pandemic, and how has culture, heritage, traditional knowledge, and or traditional practices made a difference in your life
During the pandemic, yes. During the pandemic, I participated in cultural practices such as making dry meat, filleting fish, fishing, hunting, and gathering. I found that I had more time to learn the woodland Cree practices. However, like I'm just learning, and I didn't grow up in the trapline or in the fish camp like some of the Cree people here.
Yeah.
I am a Cree, but I didn't grow up in that kind of environment. And so I've been learning how to do these things, and also I started getting so sad and like feeling all these emotions. I started walking about an hour a day just to be out there and doing something. But that kind of stopped when the some of the restrictions lifted. It's kind of funny. Yeah, because I can go out more and drive around in the vehicle. Yeah.
And you could leave the community too, right?
Yeah, we can leave the community now at any time, but there's still roadblocks just to let the security know that where you're going. It's not so much to stop you from going anywhere.
So just to kind of monitor who's leaving, where you're going, right?
Yeah, monitor.
Because some places don't have those up anymore, hey, because of funding or so
that's what we noticed too. That other First Nations bands don't have that, but I think we still do in all the reserves there from PBCN.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
You guys are lucky. So, excuse me. So, what lessons for the future may come out of this experience for you?
I think for my part, I saw a lot of people overreacting. Overreacting within themselves or in their households or how they made decisions. I think that we learn not to, for people not to overreact with pandemics and just learn to deal with it and live with it. And also just to be comfortable in your own environment. And it's okay to stay in contact using social distancing. I think it was a way for the Creator to let us know to slow down and be more cautious when we're out and about on Mother Earth. She's telling us to slow down and not to be in a rush all the time. That's what I got out of it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So what lessons do you think will come out of this for your family, if you want to share that, or for other families and your community, like a society as a whole? I think you've mentioned it, but if you wanted to say a little bit more.
I think, before we start closing off schools, maybe we could have brainstormed on how to open the schools for the students, and maybe we could have alternated classes, or we could have done more, like maybe we could have alternated the classrooms and practice hand washing and sanitizing the school, and also maybe we could have had more online courses for the kids that they can do at home instead of rushing to shut it down right away. I think maybe we could have brainstormed as a whole, as teachers and also the education superintendents, or also the Ministry of Education. They should have just, helped the schools of Saskatchewan on how to deal with this pandemic and in the school and in the school system, and also support the schools, and I don't know how they would do it, but it was kind of hard for students not to go to school for 3 months, and now they're expected to come back to school in the fall. And what kind of measures are they going to be taking in the fall? Did they have time to prepare and plan? I think for the next pandemic, we need to prepare and plan for what things that needs to be done, what kind of measures that need to be done.
Yeah.
And and a lesson for myself is, I don't know. I'm not sure because I was pretty upset, oppressed by what was happening. And the lesson for me would be just to learn to appreciate where you work, and also appreciate life, and how to, appreciate that some people are still alive today and some have passed on because of the COVID-19. And we need to value our lives, I think. Did I answer properly?
Oh, yes, that was
okay.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you touched on everything, all of those questions, and especially because you're an educator, of course you're going to focus on that world. So, no, that's really good. So
Number 7,
what will you remember most about this time?
the one thing I'll remember is feeling that oppression, and also being more oppressed. As Indigenous people, we're oppressed. We're oppressed now, and I felt more oppressed when the pandemic came, because they were telling us what to do and when to leave, And Indigenous people fight with oppression and colonialism all the time. I didn't like being dictated on how to live my life by the government, community, rules, and people who thought they were in charge. I felt my rights as an individual was being taken away. Those are some of the feelings that I felt.
Okay. And a lot of what you talk about, that is grief, right?
And it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Because everything's shut down. We have to just sit there with our feelings, and we have to also acknowledge we carry like our parents' trauma and our grandparents, that's epigenetics. Like, there's scientific proof that we carry that in our DNA, like it shapes us. So that could be coming out too, right? So those are all big things you talked about. And those are not easy things either, so.
No.
So our last one is, how are you staying in touch with family and friends?
Okay. At first, I stayed in touch with family and friends on social media, phone conversations and texting, visiting them outside, my place or their houses. But now I go visit my mom's and my granddaughter's parents' place. So now that it's I think, it's more flexible now to go visiting. And also, we just began work last week with 15 people allowed in the building.
Oh,
but
you're
also,
at work now.
Yeah, but also we have to follow precautionary measures.
Awesome. So I'm going to just text you for your email, or I should have your email, but your mailing address, because there's a little gift I'll be mailing to you.
Okay.
And since you're in the office now, if you could just print, sign, scan, and send that back, because these interviews, maybe not word for word, but parts of it will be shared publicly, not right away, but Yeah, because I think it's so important to share everyone's experience, and I'm so glad you were able to participate.
Mhm.
So awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Judy.
All right. Thank you for
Uh,
asking me to do the interview.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.